guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up. I'm so excited to share my May wrap-up with you guys. I did so good. I read a total of 11 books and a lot of them are huge books. I'm so proud of myself. I think this is the best month that I've done in a very long time. So let's get on with the video. I'm not going to go into the synopsis with you guys too much because like I said, I read 11 books and I just want to get through them. I don't want you guys to have to suffer through a long video. But anyways, let's get right on to the books that I read in the month of May. Starting off with the first book I read in May was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I did a review for it and I'll leave a link for it below. I love this book so much. I definitely see why a lot of people love this series. I will say though that the hype kind of got to me, that I loved it, but I don't think I loved it as much as a lot of people said when they're trying to say that it's their favorite series, but I did really enjoy it. Second book that I read in the month of May is going to be Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. Again, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Third book in the month of May is going to be Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This has been so far my least favorite out of all 3 of the books that are out. I don't want to go into too much because like I said, this is the third book, but yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. This next book was a reread for me, and that is going to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Again, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I love it so very much. This next book I think is my favorite book that I read in the month of May, and it was just totally amazing, and that is going to be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. Seems like I've had a Sarah J Maas month of May, but you know what? That's okay. This I loved, and I loved it even more than the Throne of Glass series. Loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars. I'd give it 1,000 stars if I could. This is definitely, I would probably say, my favorite book that I've read of the year thus far. So good. You guys need to go check it out. The next book I read in the month of May is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and then I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I would probably more so give it a 4.5, but I just rounded up and decided to give it a 5 stars. It was really great, and I can't wait to see what comes in the next book. This was supposed to be a standalone, but they got the rights picked up, and they're going to have a second book, which I'm very happy about because the ending to this, there was a lot of unanswered questions, but you guys should definitely check it out. It's high fantasy, so good. The only problem that I kind of had with it was there wasn't very much love in it, and I always like when love gets snuck into fantasy books here and there, so that's the only issue I had with it. Otherwise, it was a really good fantasy read. The next book I read was Very Good Lives by J.K. Rowling, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was very inspirational, and I think it's a good book if you're looking to become a writer or anything you want to do in life and you kind of need a pick-me-up. I think it's a really good book to pick up, and it's very short, so it doesn't take long at all. I think it took me about a half an hour to read it. So yeah, go pick that up. The next book that I read in the month of May is The Heir by Kiera Cass. Guys, let me tell you, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I know a lot of people had problems with the selection series in general because they thought America was so annoying. But this is the point of view from her daughter, Evelyn, and it was so good, guys. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, so go and definitely check this out. Even if you had issues with it, still read this one because it's a fast-paced read. I read it in one sitting, so you can get through it very quickly. The next book I read was my least favorite of the month, and that is Soulless by Gail Carriger. I had the book, but today I got rid of it, so I unhauled the entire series. After reading that first book, I have no plans in picking that series up whatsoever. I'm completely done with it, so I got rid of it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay, but it was very boring, and it just, for me, it's not going to be worth reading the rest of the series. So, like I said, I got rid of them. The next book that I picked up in the month of May was Invaded by Melissa Landers, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much more than the first one. The first one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. This one, the story just progresses so much better. It's got a better storyline. The writing is so much better in this one. I just loved it, and I loved getting back in the world of Alex and Kara, and I just think you guys should check out the series. It was really good, and I enjoyed it so very much. And the last book that I read, I think, is my second favorite. I read this one in one sitting. It took me about 6 hours to read this book, including while cooking dinner and all that, trying to take care of my kids, and that is Confess by Colleen Hoover. This one wasn't on my list, but I decided just to pick it up one day because I read all the other books on my list. So, guys, let me tell you, Colleen Hoover is queen. Like, I just love her writing, and I fly through it, and the stories are just so, like, they pull you in, and you just gravitate towards them, and the love that she puts in there is just so realistic, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I love her writing. Like, I'm getting tongue-tied with how much I love Colleen Hoover. Like, her books are amazing. Like, Ugly Love was my favorite book of hers, but I think this one might be taking the place of it, or at least tied with it. I really love her books. They're so amazing, and if you don't mind with a little bit of sexy time, then these are so good. So good. And the last book that I read in the month of May was Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon, and I only got, let's see, 210 pages in. I'm on, let's move Harry out of the way, I'm on chapter 15, which weirdly enough, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but with Outlander, I got to chapter, I think, 16, and then I put it down. But I'm slowly working my way through this one. These are such big books that I knew I wasn't going to get completely done with it. But you know what? I read pretty much 11 and a half books, so I'm not mad at myself for the month of May. I am super happy with what I read, and majority of the books that I read were absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy I was able to get to them. A couple of the readathons helped me out with that. But yeah, that's all I have for my May wrap-up. Let me know in the section below if you've read any of these books and which one's your favorites. And then also let me know what you read in the month of May and which ones were your favorite out of what you read. I really love hearing about what you guys like to read and what you're currently reading. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.